Top 3 musicians who hated David Lee Roth. David Lee Roth is a prominent American rock vocalist recognized for his lively and flamboyant stage performances. He served as the lead singer for the legendary hard rock band Van Halen. As the band's main lyricist, Roth contributed significantly to their distinctive sound, fusing pop and punk elements with hard rock. Their debut album was revolutionary, and their most popular song, Jump, emerged as an anthem of 1984. Roth was pivotal to Van Halen's rise to worldwide fame in the late 70s and early 80s. Although he is primarily celebrated for his time with the band, he also achieved considerable solo success throughout the 1980s. Tracks such as Running with the Devil and Eddie Van Halen's guitar masterpiece Eruption showcased the band's intense energy, while Roth's extravagant stage presence and charm cemented their reputation. In the mid-1980s, Roth also began a successful solo career. After more than 10 years apart, he rejoined Van Halen in 2007 for a highly successful North American tour that became the most lucrative in the band's history and stacked up as one of the highest-grossing tours of that year. Roth's influence on rock music and pop culture is undeniable. However, Roth's bold character often strained relations with his peers. Many fellow musicians expressed their dislike for him, leading to notable rivalries. Here are 3 musicians who hated David Lee Roth the most. Sammy Hagar. Although Sammy Hagar had a more sophisticated musical taste, he felt that his predecessor, David Lee Roth, lacked depth in his musical contributions. Roth began to lose interest in the band's direction, and Eddie Van Halen's increasing focus on keyboards resulted in creative conflicts between the two, eventually leading Roth to leave the band for a solo career. Hagar later commented that Roth was more concerned with his image as a rock star than with making meaningful contributions to the music. In an interview, Hagar characterized Roth's stage presence as flashy, stating, "He's a real character, a showman. He's all show. The difference between him and me is that I sincerely care, I care about everything I do and how it affects people. I don't think he cares about anything like that. He's very much into himself, very much into being a showman." Looking back on touring with Roth, Hagar said the experience was unpleasant due to Roth's behavior. He remarked, "When we did the tour, I thought it was going to be so much fun. He was the worst guy to be around. He wasn't ever around." Jeff Young. Jeff Young played guitar on Megadeth's 1988 album So Far, So Good before departing the band the next year. In an interview with the Metal Voice, he revealed that he was offered the opportunity to audition for David Lee Roth's band shortly afterward. However, Young has now disclosed that he declined the offer, explaining his reasoning. He believed that Roth would eventually end up in Vegas, which ultimately came to pass. Young described Roth as a lunatic and expressed no regrets about his choice, stating, "I just don't really like his voice, to be honest, and I've since learned he's a lunatic. So, I made a great choice, he's nuts." Eddie Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen was known for his laid-back attitude, but this often conflicted with David Lee Roth's strict approach, leading to tensions that sometimes escalated into heated arguments. While creating Fair Warning, Roth pushed for more commercially appealing songs, whereas Eddie favored a darker, more experimental sound. These disagreements weakened both their music and the band dynamic, with Fair Warning lacking the cohesion of earlier albums and signaling the beginning of Roth's departure. Although Van Halen had initially chosen Roth as a musical collaborator, their mutual animosity was evident. Both acknowledged they were never friends, simply talented musicians who complemented each other. Roth noted in 2019, "We've never gotten along. We have always hated each other, right up until the last phone call." By the time of the 1984 tour, Eddie had grown weary of the sideshow elements of their performances, as the band was largely not playing together on stage, with Roth's solo segments dominating. Eddie remarked, "It wasn't a band anymore. I couldn't have gone on like that, so it was a good thing that Dave quit."